Good evening everyone and welcome back to our channel. I am Twinkle Quatra from IME Law College and currently a legal intern at Lexis and Company. And the topic that I am going to discuss today is attempt to murder. So, if a person causes death of another person with complete knowledge and intention, then he will come under section 300 of IPC, that is murder. Right, but if a person attempts to cause the death of a person with complete knowledge and intention, but that death did not happen, then he will come under section 307 of IPC, that is attempt to murder. So let's just discuss what are the essentials to attempt to murder. So first is death of human being should be caused. Second is the accused must have done this act. And third is accused has done this act with the intention to cause death or bodily injury. And under this point, two subcategories are there. First is accused know that injury is likely to cause death, and second is the injury was sufficient in the ordinary nature to cause death. Right. So under this, let's just discuss the punishment as well. So section 307 of IPC is divided into three parts. First is attempt to murder, second is hurt caused while attempting, and third is attempt by life convict. So in attempt to murder case, the punishment will be of life imprisonment of 10 years plus fine, and this is cognizable, non-bailable and non-compoundable offence. And hurt caused while attempting is also cognizable, non-bailable and non-compoundable offence, and under this punishment will be of life imprisonment or life imprisonment of 10 years plus fine. And attempt by life convict, under this punishment will be of death or life imprisonment for 10 years or plus fine, and it is also cognizable, non-bailable and non-compoundable offence. So let's just quickly discuss the element of liability. So first is there should be an overt act and mens rea as evidence so that it can be used as proof. Second is commission of the crime is not important, but the crime must be under circumstances that death might be caused if that act have taken place. And second is it should be capable of causing death naturally or in ordinary course of nature. And next point is the burden is on prosecution to show the actus reus and mens rea both. And let's discuss some illustration as well. First is A with the intention of causing the death of a child of tender year exposes it in a desert place. A has committed the offence of defined by the section through the death of the child does not happen. So if A has exposed the child to the desert because he was having the intention that that child should be dead, then he will be come under this section. If the child has died or not, he has the intention, so he will come under this only. Second is A intending to murder Z buys a gun and loads it. A has not yet committed the offence. A fires the gun at Z. He has committed the offence defined in this section. So it is clear because the language was easy. A has purchased the gun but haven't done anything with that gun. Then he will be not liable under this section. But at that moment when he shot Z, then he will be liable. Third is A intending to murder Z by poison, purchase poison and mixes the same with food which remains in A's keeping. A has not yet committed the offence defined in this section. A places the food on Z's table or delivers it to Z's servant to place it on Z's table. A has committed the offence defined in this section. So when A has, it is similar as second point. So when A has taken the poison and mixed it with the food but haven't served it to Z, in that moment he has not committed any crime. But at the moment when he has served the food to the Z, at that moment he has committed the crime and he will be liable under section 307 of IPC. So let me tell you some important cases. So first is R.V. Higgins 1833 case. This case is important because before this case there was no such thing of attempt to murder. This was the case through which the introduction of attempt to murder has came. So that's why this is an important case. Second is Sarju Prasad versus State of Bihar 1964. This is a case in which Supreme Court held that mere fact that injury inflicted did not wholly cut any vital organ is sufficient to take it out of purview of section 307. it means that if someone has not cut your vital organ, it doesn't mean that he has not attempted to murder. He will definitely come in section 307 of IPC only. And moreover, the court said the prosecution must establish that his intention was one of three kind mentioned in section 300 of IPC, and it is a duty of the prosecution that he tells that the intention was wrong, and all the 3 points that is mentioned in 300 section. And next case, and the most important case, is Om Prakash versus State of Punjab. Here the Supreme Court held that offence under section 307 is committed when the offender does an act or series of acts with intention to commit murder. So it means that if a person is doing a single act or a series of acts, it doesn't matter, it will come under 307. And in this case, a person or a husband has not given his wife food intentionally and causes attempt to murder, so he was liable under this section, that is 307 of IPC. So this is it for this video. Keep liking, keep sharing, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.